I think we mistake busyness and we wear it like a badge of honor. Like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm just so busy.
I like the energy. That's when I'm loud. I like busting the music or the podcast that we're listening, whatever it is. And then once I get to the clinic, like, let's go.
Don't hand off and delegate all of your tasks when that person is not capable or fully trained in doing it.
Being busy and being in the zone is two different things. We had a chiropractor in one of our clinics, and we asked him, how did the week go? It was busy. Next week, we asked him, how did the week go? It was busy. And our mentor was in that meeting. He said, hey, let's break this down. What is busy for you? Because you keep saying that word busy, busy, busy. And I run multiple clinics and I don't consider myself busy. So what do you mean with that? Well, like I was saying, people, well, that's not busy. You were in the zone. So it's two totally different things. And I know you're pretty good at that. And so I'm going to ask you a couple questions related to that. Because I feel between busy and the zone, you have a kid, obviously. I have never seen you kind of like busy, but I see you in the zone. And I want you to explain what is being in the zone looks like.
Yeah, being in the zone is when you can pretty much block out all other distractions. You are only doing one thing and you're doing one thing exceptionally well, and you're in your flow state. You don't have to think about it. It's like that idea of the unconscious competence.
Okay.
You are just doing what you do, you're the best at it, and you don't really have to think about it. You're just in your flow. You're in your flow state. Being busy is when you know you have 100 things on your to-do list and you're thinking about those 100 things while you're trying to do 5 things at one time. And it's messy and it's disorganized, and you often are not going to do things well because there's so many things that are going
So
on.
nothing gets done with being busy,
Yes.
being on the flow, everything gets done.
It's being a master of none. It's being mediocre at a lot of good things or at a lot of things. And I don't want to be mediocre at a lot of things. I want
What
to
is
be
being
really
on the
good.
zone on a clinic day looks like for you?
Yep. So could kind of come back to cluster booking too, where you have like your report stacked, you have your new patient stacked, and then you've just got patients like you're flowing. If anybody's ever been chiropractors on a mission trip and you see like 200 people in a span of like an hour, that's being in the zone because all you're thinking about is adjusting. Okay, next person on the table, next person on the table, next person on the table. That's being in your flow, that's being in the zone. It's really important to be in that headspace when you're at the office and leave everything personal out of the office. Because and sometimes this happens, I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I'm thinking about like, okay, I need to get this for Luca, or I have to pick up this, I got to take the dry cleaning. While I'm adjusting a patient, there's a really good chance something could go wrong with the adjusting of the patient, or it's not going to be the best adjustment that the
Or
patient
even
could
not
have.
just adjusting, if you're like at work but thinking about something else, and that happened to me last week with the moving stress and all that. I would say the past month,
Yep.
usually your business decreases 20%
Yes.
due to your energy shifting.
Yep.
So now people think that you just work when you're at the clinic. It's funny because I used to think that as well about people, but I know it's more work when you're not on the clinic. You get more things done. What is being in the zone on days like Thursday mornings that you're not on the clinic, Tuesday morning? What do they look
Yeah.
like? How do you get in the zone those days?
Your CEO days, we call that too. Yeah, that is just I love those days because you are free to focus and you have so much creativity flowing to you because you're not bogged down with so many things. On those days, I'm very intentional that I'm like, because you could, like, let's say we work from home on those days, right? So I could throw in a little wash and I could meal prep while I listen to a podcast or something. But those days, I want to cut all the distractions out. And I just want to say, hey, here's the 3 things on my list that I need to get done. And I think it's Dan Sullivan who talks about this, the author of 10X is easier than 2X. I need to get these 3 things done, and those are the only 3 things that I'm focused on that day. Sure, I probably have 20 things to get done that week, but I'm only going to focus on 3 things, and then when I'm done, I'm done. And then I can throw in a little laundry. Then I can meal prep. But what it looks like is just I make my cup of coffee, my beautiful, ideal cup of coffee. I sit down at the desk or stand at the standing desk, and I'm just in flow. I'm allowing creativity to flow to me. I'm not thinking about what's going on at the office or what's going on in the house or the chaos and the mess around me. I'm just focused on the one thing that I have to do. There's a book that helps with this too. It's called The One Thing, and it talks about only focusing on one thing at a time. That has
Yeah.
really helped me.
If you try to do multiple things at the same time, nothing gets done.
Yes.
How do you personally define productivity?
Gosh, there's a couple different ways I feel like you could define this, but I think we mistake busyness and we wear it like a badge of honor.
Hmm.
Like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm just so busy. I'm so busy. Like our one chiropractor who was saying that. And like number wise, he's really not busy. Maybe he feels productive, but he's calling it busy. There are days where like you run a lot of errands, you do things, you're like, man, I was super productive today. And it's like a good feeling. It's a feeling of accomplishment. But there's days where like I'll leave the clinic and I'm like, that was a dumpster fire and I just got my butt kicked and I don't feel productive. And I think on those days specifically where I'm like, that felt very unproductive, I just felt busy and like it's like a gross feeling. It's because my brain was scattered and I
Gotcha.
wasn't in my flow. So when I feel the most productive is when I am only focusing on one thing at a time. I'm in the zone. I'm being the best at that thing at that time. And then I'm checking that off the checklist. It's just taking one thing at a time.
So this question will fit perfect because I know recently you made a hire that actually helped you with this, but this is something that you struggle for the past 4 years. I was saying you can correct me,
Mhm.
but how do you balance responding to people like staff, not just patients, but staff, while still protecting your focus when you're in the zone?
Yes, I delegate a lot of things. And that has
But
been,
I want you to break this more because
yeah,
it's not everyone says, "Oh, I delegate,
I
I
do.
delegate."
Yeah,
Okay, you struggle with
I
delegating.
do. Yeah,
Like
I still do.
you thought you delegate, but people were not getting it done.
Yep.
So I want you to break that more.
Okay, so originally we had hired a front desk position and she was with us for some time and still with us. And I prematurely promoted her to an office manager
Why?
position because I was so sick of dealing with all of the responsibilities and tasks
Uh
of
huh.
being a manager and also trying to be a doctor at the office. And the two were causing me to be busy and not
Mm-hmm.
productive.
Correct.
And I just said, it was an emotional decision. I
Uh
just
huh.
said, she's office manager, forget about it. She's going to take on all these tasks. I had not trained her properly. I had not shown her what an office manager
Mm-hmm.
does, the qualities an office manager should have, how to properly lead and manage a team, because those are two different things. And I just said, screw it. I'm going to give her the title and let's go. Like, get this off my plate as
And
fast as
how did
possible.
the title help you or dishelp you?
The title, lifting it off my shoulders at the time initially was helpful until it wasn't, until knowing that this person wasn't capable of managing a team like I was expecting her
Correct.
to. That's when things went downhill. So the communication was bad. Yeah, she was taking tasks off my plate like payroll and like submitting
Uh
hours and
huh.
simple stuff like that. But it ultimately backfired. And then I received even more texts and messages from our staff about, hey, I need this, or this is happening, or we have this conflict. And so it was like, I'm just redoing her mess ups. And it was more complicated for me
Mm-hmm.
because now I have to untangle webs. So big advice, big piece of advice that I can give is don't hand off and delegate all of your tasks when that person is not capable or fully trained of doing it. So now I'm trying to undo that and I'm kind of shifting roles. I'm taking tasks off of her plate and actually giving them to somebody else. And we're recreating a role for another person.
But what are you doing to that somebody else that you didn't do the first time?
I am going on a 6-week training program with her where I'm sitting weekly. I check in with her for an hour. I talk about what's going well, what's not going well. I'm actually pouring in time to her to allow her to manage and lead the team like I should have done the first time.
Yeah.
Because the first time was just such an emotional decision. And now that I've had time to rework through it, I'm learning do not push all of your things off until that person is actually ready to take it on.
Yeah, and the reason I asked you this is because I saw you a lot of the times just like struggling. It was you were in the zone, but then you were getting messages from the staff or like complaints from the staff, and that took you out of the zone. And then the one that suffers is you and the patient.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I know you delegated that. You thought you delegated, but it wasn't getting done still.
Hmm.
And now basically like you're cleaning everything up and you create a whole system in order to train someone for it that doesn't happen again. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to share that because I know it was a struggle
Yeah.
and
Still
we
is.
need to share that with people that way they don't
Yeah.
make that mistake. So basically train better the staff, create a better system to train someone and just don't hire just for manager when they haven't earned the position yet.
Yes.
Correct?
And I think part of that too, like, because I've had this reflection after all that situation happened, is protect the culture of your office and of your team. Because when you name a high title, a high position to somebody, it comes with a raise, it comes with more responsibility, more leadership. But that person is kind of going to get in a headspace of like, I'm above, according to like hierarchy, I'm above the other team. And it can create some tension within the office and it can disrupt the culture. And that's kind of what happened in our office.
Yeah.
And so now I'm trying to redo that, make sure we guard and protect our culture and get back to our original core values.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that because I know it was a struggle. So now you're trying to fix it in a good
Yes.
way. Plus, as well, you have Dr. Bryce that is helping a lot with that. So that's
Yes.
super helpful. What lie do you think most people believe about being busy?
I think they think being busy equals more money or that that's going to make them more profitable.
Hmm.
And that's kind of like the lie we're told in society. If you work like an hourly job, like the more you work, the harder you work, the more money you earn. And being an entrepreneur, we've learned that this is actually quite the opposite. The more we step out of the office, the more we work on the business and not in the business, we can actually make more money. So making ourselves busier doesn't necessarily make us more money. And it actually is the opposite. And we talk about all this like
Hmm.
having your ideal client, working more with quality versus quantity, has completely shifted the game for us. It makes us not only happier, but it gives us more energy. And then in turn, I feel like we make more money and people get healthier and get better help because we're in a flow state. We're happy. We're in like a good mental headspace and we're not just like so overwhelmed and so busy versus just like I'm in flow, I'm in my focus, and this is where I want to be.
Hmm. And sometimes, and we struggle with this, both of us, after long meetings, like Tuesdays, we have like 6 meetings or 7 some days. We finish a meeting, we get out of the zone. So we have to go for a walk or like,
Yes.
watch nature, do something that you have to leave the space that you're on
Yep.
in order to gain back that like flow,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Changing the environment up is really helpful.
Yeah. So it's in this past meeting on Tuesday on the meeting at the office, they asked me like, how many reports do you want while we're here? Because like this doctor wants 6, this one's was
Mm,
5. I'm like, all of them. Because if I'm here, I'm gonna be on the zone already. Just
yes.
put all of them.
Yeah.
So I know you're like that as well. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's actually when on that meeting because it sounds sometimes our Tuesdays are like, oh my gosh, there's so many meetings today. But I prefer to stack them like that. And it's actually recommended that we do
Hmm.
that psychologically because I know that when we're in our meeting flow state, it's different than when we're in like a patient care flow
Correct.
state. We're in more of like a problem solving, critical thinking, like higher level. What can we do to improve the clinic? When we're just seeing patients, I'm not thinking about all that stuff. So there's times where I'm like, man, should we spread out our meetings so we don't have 7 in a day? And then I'm like, no, because I know on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, this is how we do
Put
it.
all of the meetings together.
However many 5
Uh huh.
hours, 6 hours worth of meetings, that's what we got to do to get things done and be productive. That's what we're going to do. So I love the fact of like stacking one subject of tasks versus flipping back and forth.
Correct. No, yeah.
It's too much work.
I agree with you. Same with patient care, same with working. When we're working on the business, I prefer doing it on the morning instead of the afternoon.
Yep.
I know sometimes you're the opposite way, but you already have the zone, and not everyone is going to have the same flow. You
Yeah.
function one way, I function one way, totally fine. And I know that there's a lot of tests for it. That way you could like know if you're a morning person, afternoon, or it
Yeah.
doesn't
Your
matter.
chronotype. Yep.
Chronotype. So there you go. Get that done. Is there anything else you want to share about the subject?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question and then maybe I could answer that as well. But what is like when you get into the clinic and you want to get into your flow state of patient, what gets you in the zone? What kind of helps you shift mentally to like get in the zone with seeing patients?
Yeah, for me, it's the drive to the clinic. It defines everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
Drop Luca, daycare with you, and then that drive to the clinic. Like, I need energy. If we're just quiet, it's not gonna be a good day. So we need like, I like the energy. That's what I'm loud. I like busting the music or the podcast that we're listening, whatever it is. And then once I get to the clinic, like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like I'm ready to do the huddle, devotional. Let's do a cheer. Let's hype up, and as soon as that door opens, just get someone on my room. I don't want people to wait, so let's someone on my room because the faster I start, the more momentum I create.
Yep.
What about you?
For me, it's a outfit change. So like obviously drive to I get ready. We're in business professional
Mm-hmm.
clothes. Get to the clinic. I put on my jacket. I get in my zone. I usually hit the speeder board. Like that's how I kind of like flip into my patient mindset. When I get home, my business clothes are coming straight off. I want to
Yeah.
be in my house clothes. I want to be in t-shirt and shorts. And I kind of want to, it's like symbolic of I'm changing out of all the patient stuff that was like on me. I'm getting out of that. And now
Yeah.
I'm at home and I can be fully present as a wife and as a mom.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and we're sharing a lot of newsletters as well. So get on our email list and go to the website, path to victory chiro.com.